What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved hosts welcomes a guest who refuses to play by the rules? It only took 37 seconds of Meghan Markle's first answer to signal that this interview was about to go completely off the rails. Jennifer Hudson sits across from her guest, smiling warmly as the studio audience settles into their seats. The atmosphere feels electric, charged with anticipation. This is supposed to be a friendly conversation, a chance for Meghan to share her perspective, to connect with everyday people. But from the very first question, something feels different. Something feels wrong. Jennifer leans forward, her voice gentle and welcoming. Thank you so much for being here today. I know our audience has been so excited to hear from you. Let's start simple. What's been bringing you joy lately? It's the kind of softball question every talk show host asks. Easy, warm, designed to make the guest comfortable. But Meghan's response cuts through the air like ice. You know, Jennifer, I think the better question is why the media refuses to ask me about the things that actually matter. Joy? Joy is a luxury for people who aren't constantly fighting for their dignity. The audience goes quiet. Jennifer's smile doesn't falter, but her eyes register the shift. She tries to redirect, to bring the conversation back to solid ground. Of course, and we definitely want to talk about the important work you're doing. But I think our viewers also love getting to know the person behind the headlines. What does a regular day look like for you? Meghan lets out a small laugh, but there's no warmth in it. A regular day? Jennifer, do you know what a regular day looks like for me? It's waking up to hundreds of think pieces, dissecting everything I say. It's watching people who've never walked a mile in my shoes tell me how I should feel. But I suppose that's not the light, fluffy content you're looking for, is it? Jennifer shifts in her seat. The audience can feel the temperature in the room dropping. This isn't banter. This isn't a guest playfully pushing back. This is something else entirely. I think our audience can handle real conversation, Jennifer says, her voice still warm, but firmer now. That's what we do here. We have honest discussions about real things, but we also believe in meeting people with respect and kindness. Respect and kindness, Meghan repeats, and the way she says it makes those words sound like an accusation. That's interesting coming from someone who works in an industry that's built on tearing people down for ratings. Tell me, Jennifer, how many times have you had someone on this show just so you could watch them squirm? How many times have you smiled to someone's face while knowing your producers are going to edit them to look foolish? The audience gasps. You can hear it ripple through the studio. Jennifer's been doing this long enough to handle difficult guests, but this isn't difficult. This is hostile. That's not what we do here, Jennifer responds, and now there's an edge to her voice. Everyone who sits in that chair is treated with dignity. We don't ambush people. We don't play gotcha. I'm sorry if you've had bad experiences elsewhere, but that's not who we are. Who you are, Meghan says, leaning back in her chair like she's just getting started. Let me tell you who you are. You're part of a machine that chews people up and spits them out. You sit there with your perfect lighting and your applause signs, and you pretend like you're different, like you're better. But at the end of the day, you're still asking me about what brings me joy while the world is burning. Jennifer takes a breath. The cameras are still rolling. The audience is frozen. Every producer in the booth is probably screaming into their headsets. But Jennifer Hudson didn't become who she is by backing down. I asked you about joy because joy matters. Because in the middle of hard things, in the middle of fighting for what's right, people still need moments of light. That's not shallow. That's human. And if you can't see that, then maybe you've forgotten what it means to connect with regular people. The words land like a slap. Meghan's expression changes. For a split second, the mask slips, and what's underneath isn't pretty. Regular people, she says slowly. You mean people like your audience? People who tune in to watch celebrities pretend to be relatable? Let me ask you something, Jennifer. How much did you get paid for this episode? How much is this network making off of having me here? That's none of your business, Jennifer says, and her voice has lost all pretense of pleasantness now. And it's certainly not relevant to anything we're discussing. It's not, Meghan shoots back, because it seems pretty relevant to me. You want to talk about authenticity and connection, but you won't even acknowledge that this whole thing is a transaction. I'm here to boost your ratings. You're here to collect a paycheck. Let's at least be honest about what this is. Jennifer stands up. The audience collectively holds its breath. You know what? You're right about one thing. Let's be honest. I invited you here because I thought you had something meaningful to share. I thought, despite everything you've been through, you might want to use this platform to actually connect with people who care. But instead, you've come here with nothing but contempt. Contempt for me. Contempt for this show. Contempt for everyone watching. And I'm not going to sit here and let you disrespect what we've built. Meghan stands too, and now they're face to face across the coffee table that separates them. Disrespect? Meghan's voice rises. You want to talk about disrespect? Try being told to smile more. Try being told you're too opinionated. Try being picked apart by strangers every single day while people like you profit from the spectacle. People like me? Jennifer's hands are shaking now, but her voice is steady. I have worked for everything I have. I came from nothing. I lost people I loved. I fought my way into rooms that didn't want me there. So don't you dare stand there and lecture me about struggle. And don't you dare come onto my show and act like you're the only person who's ever faced criticism. Oh, here we go, Meghan says, rolling her eyes. The humble beginning story. Yes, Jennifer, we've all heard it. You overcame obstacles. You beat the odds. Good for you. But that doesn't give you the right to sit there and judge me for how I respond to my own struggles. I'm not judging your struggles, Jennifer fires back. I'm judging your behavior. There's a difference. You can go through hard things and still treat people with basic respect. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. Meghan leans forward, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Basic respect. Like the basic respect this industry shows people every single day? Like the basic respect the tabloids show when they write lie after lie? Where was all this concern about respect when I was being dragged through the mud? That's not what we're talking about, Jennifer says firmly. We're talking about right now. Right here. This conversation. You're attacking me for things I haven't done. You're putting words in my mouth. You're making assumptions about my intentions without giving me a chance to even finish a sentence. Maybe I don't need to hear full sentences to know where this is going, Meghan snaps. I've sat through enough of these interviews to know the game. You ask seemingly innocent questions designed to make me look bad no matter how I answer. If I talk about my pain, I'm playing the victim. If I don't, I'm cold and unfeeling. It's a trap either way. Jennifer shakes her head in disbelief. That's not what this is. You're creating a narrative that doesn't exist. I asked you about joy. That's it. That's all I did. And somehow you've turned that into this massive conspiracy against you. Because it's not just one question. Meghan's voice cracks slightly. It's never just one question. It's 1,000 tiny cuts, all designed to diminish and demean. And I'm tired of pretending like it's okay. I'm tired of smiling through it. Then don't smile through it, Jennifer says, her voice softer for a moment. Be real. Be honest. Share what you're actually feeling. But don't attack people who are trying to give you space to do exactly that. I'm not your enemy, Meghan. I'm not the tabloids. I'm not the people who hurt you. I'm just someone who wanted to have a conversation. A conversation on your terms, Meghan counters. In your studio. With your questions. While you get to play the gracious host, and I'm supposed to be the grateful guest. Don't act like we're on equal footing here. Jennifer throws her hands up. Of course we're not on equal footing. This is my show. but that doesn't mean I'm trying to trap you, or trick you, or make you look bad. It means I'm doing my job, which is to facilitate a conversation that people want to hear. And part of that job is creating a space where guests feel comfortable enough to be themselves. Comfortable, Meghan repeats mockingly. You think this is comfortable? Sitting here under these hot lights while cameras record my every move? While an audience watches my every expression? This isn't comfortable. This is a performance. And at least I'm being honest about that. It's only a performance if you make it one, Jennifer shoots back. Some people come here and they're just themselves. They talk. They laugh. They share. They don't treat it like some battle they have to win. They just connect. That's all I wanted from you today. Just connection. Just honesty. Just a real moment. Real moments don't happen on talk shows, Meghan says flatly. Real moments happen when the cameras are off and the audience goes home. This is all fake. All of it. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise just to make you look good. The audience erupts. Not in applause, but in shocked murmurs. This has gone so far beyond a normal interview that nobody knows what to do. Your show, Meghan says with a bitter laugh. Your show that exists because a network decided you were marketable enough. Your show that survives on the backs of guests who have actual things to say. Without people like me, you'd have nothing to talk about. Jennifer walks around the coffee table. The cameras follow her. Every eye in the studio is locked on these two women. Get out, Jennifer says quietly. Excuse me. Meghan blinks. I said get out. This interview is over. You clearly don't want to be here. You clearly think you're above all of this. So leave. Walk off my stage. Go back to whatever it is you think is more important than connecting with the people who actually support you. Meghan laughs again, but this time it sounds forced. You can't kick me off. Do you know who I am? I know exactly who you are, Jennifer says, and her voice could cut glass. You're someone who had every opportunity to be gracious today, to be real, to be kind, and you chose to be cruel instead. You chose to make this about your grievances instead of about anything productive. So yes, I can kick you off. This is my show. This is my house. And you're not welcome here anymore. The standoff lasts for what feels like an eternity, but is probably only a few seconds. Meghan looks around, perhaps expecting someone to intervene, to tell Jennifer she can't do this. But the producers stay silent. The audience stays silent. Everyone is watching to see what happens next. This is unbelievable, Meghan finally says. You invite me here, you ask me insulting questions, and then you throw me out when I don't play along with your little game? Insulting questions? Jennifer's voice rises for the first time. I asked you what brings you joy. That's insulting. Asking you to share. Something positive is an attack. Do you hear yourself right now? I hear myself perfectly, Meghan snaps. What I hear is someone who's finally being honest instead of hiding behind fake politeness. You want me to sit here and giggle and talk about my favorite recipes, or whatever mindless garbage you usually discuss. Well, I won't do it. I have more important things to say. Then say them. Jennifer throws her hands up. That's what I've been trying to get you to do. But all you've done is attack me. Attack this show. Attack everyone in this room. You haven't said one meaningful thing since you sat down. You've just been angry and bitter and mean. Maybe I have a right to be angry, Meghan says, her voice shaking now. Maybe if you'd experienced half of what I've been through, you'd understand. Jennifer steps closer. When she speaks, her voice is lower, but somehow more powerful. Don't you dare try to claim a monopoly on pain. Don't you dare stand there and act like you're the only one who's suffered. Every single person in this audience has been through something. Every single person watching at home has faced their own battles. But most of them managed to get through the day without treating everyone around them like the enemy. Most of them understand that kindness isn't weakness, and that you can be strong and still be decent to people. Meghan's face flushes red. You have no idea what you're talking about. I know enough, Jennifer says. I know that you came here with an agenda. I know that no matter what I asked you, no matter how kind I tried to be, you were determined to make this ugly. And I'm done. I'm done trying to have a civil conversation with someone who has no interest in civility. Fine, Meghan says, grabbing her purse from beside the chair. I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need any of this circus. Then go, Jennifer says simply. Meghan starts walking toward the side of the stage, her heels clicking loudly in the silent studio. But then she stops. She turns back around. You're going to regret this, she says. When the truth comes out about how I was treated here, about how you ambushed me and then threw me out for speaking my mind, you're going to wish you'd handled this differently. Jennifer doesn't move. She doesn't flinch. She just looks at Meghan with an expression that's somehow both sad and strong. The cameras have been rolling this whole time, Jennifer says quietly. Everyone saw exactly what happened here. Everyone heard exactly what was said. There's no editing this. There's no spinning this. The truth is already out. Meghan's face goes pale. She looks at the cameras, at the audience, at the producers standing in the wings. For the first time since she sat down, she seems to realize that this isn't going the way she planned. This isn't over, she says, but her voice lacks conviction now. Yes, it is, Jennifer responds. Goodbye, Meghan. And with that, Meghan Markle walks off the stage of the Jennifer Hudson show. The audience sits in stunned silence. Jennifer stands in the middle of her set, chest heaving, hands still trembling slightly. She turns to face the audience. Well, she says, and despite everything, there's a hint of her warm smile returning. That was not how I saw this afternoon going. A few nervous laughs ripple through the crowd. You know, Jennifer continues, walking back to her chair but not sitting down. I really did want to have a good conversation today. I wanted to understand her perspective. I wanted to give her a chance to share her truth in a safe space. But I will not let anyone, I don't care who they are, come into this space and spread negativity like that. I won't let anyone disrespect the work we do here or the people who make this show possible. The audience begins to applaud. Slowly at first, then building to a roar. This show has always been about lifting people up, Jennifer says over the noise. It's about celebrating what's good, even when we talk about what's hard. It's about finding the light, finding the joy, finding the hope. And if someone can't get on board with that, then they don't belong here. The applause gets louder. People start standing up. Within seconds, the entire studio is on its feet, cheering for their host who just did what so many of them have probably wanted to do at some point in their lives. Stand up to someone who was treating them badly and say, enough is enough. Jennifer wipes at her eyes. She's trying not to cry, but the emotion of what just happened is clearly overwhelming. Thank you, she says to the audience. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And thank you for understanding that sometimes kindness means setting boundaries. Sometimes loving people means not letting them treat you poorly. She takes a deep breath and looks directly into the camera. We're going to take a quick break, she says. And when we come back, we're going to shake this off and we're going to talk about some beautiful things. Because that's what we do here. We don't let negativity win. We choose joy. We choose hope. We choose to lift each other up. Always. The camera zooms in on Jennifer's face. Despite the tears in her eyes, despite the shake in her hands, despite having just gone through one of the most intense confrontations of her career, she's smiling. A real smile. The smile of someone who knows they did the right thing. As the show cuts to commercial, the producers rush onto the stage. The audience is still buzzing with energy, still talking about what they just witnessed. Jennifer sits down in her chair, finally allowing herself to fully feel the adrenaline crash that's hitting her system. "Are you okay?" one of the producers asks. Jennifer nods. "Yeah," she says. "Yeah, I'm okay. That was intense, but I'm okay." "That was more than intense," another producer says. "That was television history." Jennifer laughs, a real laugh this time. "Well, I hope people understand why I did it. I couldn't just sit there and take that. I couldn't let her talk to me like that, talk about our show like that, talk about all of you like that." "Everyone understands," the producer assures her. "Trust me, everyone gets it." Back in the green room area, Meghan is gathering her things, surrounded by her team. They're all talking at once, trying to figure out what just happened and what it means. But Meghan herself is quiet now. The fire that burned so bright on stage, seemingly extinguished. Whatever she thought was going to happen when she arrived at the studio today, this clearly wasn't it. On stage, Jennifer is getting her makeup touched up, preparing to continue the show. The audience is still there, still energized, still supportive. They came to see Jennifer Hudson, and they're not leaving now. If anything, what they just witnessed has only deepened their respect for their host. The stage manager counts down. "We're back in 5, 4, 3. Jennifer straightens up. She smooths her dress. She takes one more deep breath. And then the Jennifer Hudson that everyone knows and loves is back, warm and radiant, and ready to continue spreading joy despite what just happened. Because that's who she is. That's what she does. She doesn't let the darkness win. She doesn't let other people's negativity dim her light. She stands up for herself. She sets her boundaries. And then she keeps shining. The cameras come back on. The audience applauds. And Jennifer Hudson does exactly what she said she would do. She shakes it off. And she chooses joy.